Hello, Jayhawks! Welcome back to this week's episode of Run It Back. I'm your host, Jamison Mangold. It's Friday, which means we have loads of sports from this past week and upcoming weekend to unpack. Last weekend, we welcomed special guests from Oklahoma State, and unfortunately for them, they probably left Lawrence a little more blue than they came, as the Jayhawks defeated the Cowboys on Saturday. Today, as basketball season is kicking off, we're checking into that, as well as football and soccer. And then we'll head to the pro world, where we have NBA, NFL, and some MMA. Finally, our crew was in serious need of some athletic activity after Halloween weekend, so we hit the courts for sand volleyball tournament. Stick around for what's to come right now on Run It Back. Since Halloween is over, I'm excited for Christmas season. But you know what I'm also excited for? Basketball season at Allen Fieldhouse, and it's officially here. Men's and women's basketball seasons have just took to the courts, and we are covering what's to come first. First, Gabby is taking a look at an update for the women's team, and Alex is looking into the men's team, both with games earlier this week. And then Jayhawk football is headed to get some sun as they take on Arizona this coming weekend. Jimmy will be looking into that soon. And finally, to end it out, Mia is checking on how our soccer team has been doing as this week they took part in the Big 12 championship. First, take it away, Gabby.
Thanks, Jamison. Women's basketball is officially back in Allen Fieldhouse. The Hawks took on Kansas City for their season opener Wednesday night. And what a great way to kick it off, especially with a win here at home. From tip-off, this year's team has the hustle and energy to have a strong run. The first quarter was a bit of back-and-forth action for these two teams. With Kansas City taking the lead, the Hawks needed to put some more points up on the board. Late into the first, a great pass from Reagan Williams to Lily Meister helped add some more points before the buzzer. The Hawks shortened the Kansas City lead but fell short 11-8. Elle Evans started quarter two strong with an early three-pointer, tying Kansas City 11-11. It was only up from there as this set the energy in Allen and for the rest of the game. Samaya Nichols was a huge help, putting up 21 points for the Hawks, and Reagan Williams followed behind with 18 points. Freshman Keely Parks had a great steal late into the second quarter that helped add to their lead, and her first basket of her career as a Jayhawk. Besides game standouts Samaya Nichols and Reagan Williams, great plays were also made from Libby Fandel, Elle Evans, and Jalea Davis to help the Hawks take a 74-64 win over Kansas City. All the women were on their A-game on Wednesday night, so a strong season is ahead of them. And if you missed out on the action of Wednesday night win, don't worry, the women are back in Allen on Sunday to take on Northwestern State at 2 p.m. With a strong home opening win, the ladies hope to keep the winning streak alive here at home. With the women off to a strong start, Alex also has KU basketball wins from the men's team this week.
Thanks, Gabby. But don't worry, Jayhawks. We're not done with basketball talk just yet. The men's team kicked off their season with a dominating win, defeating Green Bay 94-51 Monday night at Allen Fieldhouse. From the opening tip, it was all Kansas, and let's just say Wisconsin never stood a chance. Freshman Darren Peterson made his long-awaited debut after sitting out with leg cramping issues, and he showed he was more than ready to play. Peterson scored 21 points in just 22 minutes before sitting out most of the second half. His first bucket, a smooth three-pointer from the top of the key, gave Kansas the lead early, and they never looked back. From there, it was a Peterson dunk after dunk, firing up the crowd and showing why his debut was one of the most anticipated in recent years. He also added rebounds, assists, and a pair of early steals to help set the tone on both ends of the floor. And while Peterson impressed, he wasn't the only one to shine. Flory Badunga led all scorers with a career high of 23 points, proving Kansas has depth all across the board. By halftime, the Jayhawks were up by 21, and any chance of a Green Bay comeback vanished as Kansas opened the second half with 7 straight points. The Jayhawks cruised the rest of the way, locking in a dominant 43-point victory to start the season strong. The excitement doesn't stop there. The Jayhawks are hitting the road to take on North Carolina tonight in a true Battle of the Blue Bloods in Chapel Hill. After Monday's dominant win, Kansas will look to carry that momentum into what's sure to be an exciting matchup. And the action doesn't end with basketball. KU football is back in action tomorrow, and there's plenty to look forward to. Here's Jimmy with all the updates on the game ahead.
Thank you, Alex. It's shaping up to be a big weekend in college football as the Kansas Jayhawks hit the road to take on the Arizona Wildcats, and both teams are riding high after wins last week. Kansas is coming up a strong 38-21 victory over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Jayhawks' ground game was in full force, powered by the dynamic duo of LeSean Williams and Daniel Highshaw. The two combined for 3 rushing touchdowns, helping KU control the clock and keep the Cowboys defense on its heels all afternoon. On the other side, the Arizona Wildcats are coming in hot after a dominant performance in Boulder. Quarterback Noah Faida was nearly flawless, throwing for 4 touchdown passes and a 52-17 rout over Colorado. Faida spread the ball around beautifully. They had over 400 yards of offense. This weekend's matchup should be an exciting clash of styles. Kansas will look to keep pounding the ball on the ground, while Arizona aims to air it out through Faida and the fast-paced passing attack. This weekend's matchup should be exciting as Arizona will be looking to continue to air out the ball as Kansas is ranked 11th in the Big 12 for passing defense. So expect Arizona to try and exploit the pass game on KU's defense. Kickoff is set for 2:30 Central Time. Kansas versus Arizona State. 2 high-powered offenses. One marquee matchup you won't want to miss. I'm Jimmy Adeniran, and that's your look at KU football. Now Mia will tell you about our women's soccer team heading back to the Big 12 Championship. Mia, take it away.
Thank you, Jimmy. I know I was so happy to see a football win last week. For the first time in school history, Kansas is in the Big 12 championship match in back-to-back seasons after battling in the early rounds of the tournament. Today, we are going back to the pitch to cover all things women's soccer because the Hawks just keep winning. This season has been memorable as the Hawks have maintained an insane record of now 14-3 overall, and they took this chemistry with them as they took on their first match of the Big 12 tournament on Monday. Kicking off the Big 12 tournament early this week in Fort Worth, Texas, the Hawks took on number 19 West Virginia, and the chemistry with the team was clicking better than ever. Key players of the match, Lexi Watts and Jocelyn Harema, worked together to get the momentum moving for the Hawks in the 33rd minute of the first half. Along with those 2 stars, Mackenzie Hammondtree made her first career goal, which contributed to the team's overall 4-goal win. Moving on to the next round, the Hawks took this momentum with them as they faced number 12 Colorado in the Big 12 semifinals on Wednesday night. To no surprise, the Hawks delivered an outstanding performance against the Buffs, with a second-half goal from Sage Wimes to tie the game. Following that goal, freshman Lydia Viets scored her first career goal, which doubled as the game winner. The Hawks will advance to the championship game, taking on BYU in Waco, Texas. I have no doubt the Hawks will shine in Saturday's matchup to take a Big 12 dub for a second year in a row. Tune in to watch the championship at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Stay tuned to hear more sports after the break.
KU supports community, creativity, Kansas. The University of Kansas provides statewide medical outreach, first responder training, cybersecurity protection, childhood development support, and economic gains amounting to over $7 billion every year. Every day, Kansas Jayhawks serve the world by creating a better future. The world is safer, healthier, stronger because of what KU creates.
As you all realize, it's Friday, the best day of the week, mostly because we have this show, but also because that means Thursday night football happened just last night, and Patrick has the update. as the Raiders took on the Denver Broncos. And personally, I'm hoping for a Broncos loss. Sorry to my Colorado fans. And then Atakai will be here for an in-detail look at the NBA Cup to updates on games and standings. To finish us out today, Sam is back. I'm still not sure how he does it, but he knows everything there is to know about MMA, and he's here to update us all. All this soon, but first, Patrick with Thursday Night Football.
Thank you, Jameson. Last night, the Raiders and Broncos played in a divisional showdown, or in other terms, the Punt Bowl. Raiders coming off an overtime loss to the Jaguars following the return of Brock Bowers. Broncos, on the other hand, coming off 5 straight wins at 7-2, looking to push for the playoffs. Starting off the game was a punt from each team, so get used to that. The Raiders got the ball on the Broncos' 40-yard line, allowing Ashton Jeanty to truck his way into the end zone early to give them a lead. After a Broncos punt, into a Raiders turnover, into a Broncos punt, into a Raiders punt, into a Broncos punt, into a Raiders turnover, Bo Nix finds his new favorite target, Troy Franklin, on a slant over the middle for a touchdown. The Broncos got the ball back before halftime, and let me tell you, there's nothing quite like a Bo Nix deep ball. To the defense. A very defensive first half for both teams. I definitely wasn't expecting an offensive showdown last night, but I was not expecting this either. The Broncos followed up a Raiders punt with a 7-minute march down the field and a missed 59-yarder from veteran Will Lutz. Ashton Jeanty must have felt really bad for them, so he decided to pop this ball in the air for an easy interception. That wasn't even the best part of this play, though. Check out tight end Michael Mayer with his absolute boomstick on Dondre Tillman. This might have been the most Thursday Night Football game ever. Check out this block punt by the Broncos. This play set up the game-winning field goal in the third quarter for the Broncos. But you know nobody is safe from the slander. Right after, this ball went right into the chest of Troy Franklin, but he decided to pop it into the air to honor Ashton Jeanty for another pick. Shout out Caillou Blue Kelly for his second interception of the night. The Raiders were finally back in the driver's seat and in a position to tie up this game, but of course, Daniel Carlson can't hit the broadside of a barn this year, and the Broncos win 10-7. In this Thursday night showing, we saw 13 3-and-outs, 15 punts, 3 interceptions, 2 missed field goals, and 8 sacks. Broncos improved to 8-2, but once you look at that cupcake schedule they've been playing, it's easy to understand why. The Raiders at 2-7 are just absolutely cooked. Let's toss it over to Attica to talk some NBA Cup.
That Thursday Night Football game really was a slow one, but it had my hopes up just a bit as the Raiders kept it within 1 score. They couldn't get the job done, though. The NBA season tournament is underway again as teams race to see who will lift the NBA Cup this season and dethrone the Bucks. For the tournament, teams are split into 6 groups of 5 that play round-robin style every Friday for the next month to see who will make the tournament at the end. The 3 group winners plus 1 wild card in each conference will then duke it out to see who the next NBA Cup champion will be. I'm going to highlight just 1 group from each conference that I think will be the most interesting to watch. But remember, we only have 1 game of sample size, and more games for the Cup will tip off tonight, ranging from 6 to 9 this evening. Out of the East, I'm keeping my eye on Group C, which consists of the top-seeded Bulls and perennial East contenders in the Bucks, Knicks, and Heat. Then to round them out, we have the Hornets. I have been out here saying that the Bulls will cool off, and I'm going to stick by that long term, but for now, they're hot, leading the East with a record of 6-1 and winning their first group play game over the Knicks. If the Bulls want to keep their lead, they won't just have to get past the Knicks, who went to the conference finals just this last season, though. They'll also have to beat the Bucks, a veteran squad who's battle-tested and out there to win. At the helm, the Greek Freak is playing out of his mind. He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists, averaging 32, 12.5, and 6.5 to go along with 2 stocks. This Bull team has been fun to watch, but I don't see them taking down the defending tournament champs. Now, the NBA must really like the beach, because out west Group C is also the one I find most interesting. In their group play, Portland has already beaten Denver, and the rest of the Warriors, Rockets, and Spurs are yet to play. Also, something to look out for is this Group 6 ranks 3 through 7 in the current Western Conference rankings, so their group play will affect way more than just their chances at the Cup. The group is really a toss-up, and I'm just excited to see who comes out of that bloodbath of a group. Some headliners from both groups I mentioned will be playing tonight as the Bulls go to Milwaukee for a 7 p.m. tip. And for that Western Conference group, the Rockets and Spurs will face off in a showdown starting at 6:30 on Prime Video. Then Nuggets and Warriors will follow that game at 9. Personally, I'll be catching all that NBA mayhem tonight, but for now, I'll be sending it to Emil to cover the mayhem that was this NFL trade deadline.
Thank you, Atakai. Let's hope that my Bulls can win the NBA Cup. On Tuesday, as the NFL trade deadline neared, we saw some major player acquisitions for playoff teams, some draft pick hauls for tanking ones, and much more. Let's talk about some of the trades and what it means for some of the teams and players. The New York Jets had a fire sale, letting go 3-time All-Pro defensive tackle Quinnen Williams and 2-time All-Pro cornerback Sauce Gardner for a plethora of picks and even some players. Most notably, the Jets received 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell from the Colts, and D.T. Mozzie Smith from the Cowboys, 2 young players who needed a fresh start. My Chicago Bears, on the other hand, were quiet at the deadline, only picking up edge rusher Joe Tyron Shoyinka and a 7th-round pick for the 2026 draft and for a 2026 draft pick. After losing Dayo Adebango for the season to a torn Achilles, it's his second of his career. Honestly, as a Bears fan, it hurts to see us not taking the chance to improve our defense after watching our cornerbacks put on their best Eli Apple impression. I can only hope that Dennis Allen has some tricks up his sleeve, but not in the Matt Eberflus way. The Seahawks bolstered their offense, with Rashid Shaheed only giving up a 4th and a 6th-round pick to get him. Sam Darnold, who's been great this season, gets a shiny new toy. Some smaller trades from the deadline included the Las Vegas Raiders sending Jacoby Myers to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 4th and 6th-round pick, the Bengals sending linebacker Logan Wilson to the Cowboys for a 7th-round pick, and the Dolphins sending edge rusher Jalen Phillips to the Eagles for a 3rd-round pick. Well, that's all we really had from the trade deadline. From football hits to MMA kicks, it's Sam with his weekly MMA recap.
Thanks, Emil. I've been feeling the pressure too, hitting the waivers hard in fantasy lately. Well, sports betting has just become a teeny bit relevant nowadays, and the UFC appears to be joining the sports embroiled in betting controversy. During Saturday's November welcoming UFC Fight Night in Vegas, little something irregular happened. Some awfully suspicious activity surrounding a featherweight bout between Isaac Dolgarian and Yadier Del Valle has investigations in full swing. The third fight of the main card had Dolgarian as a -250 favorite, but he jumped quite a ways in the hour leading up to the fight, movement that was flagged by several sports books. The result of the fight, you ask, a first-round submission loss for Dolgarian that Daniel Cormier called white belt stuff on the ESPN broadcast. Dolgarian had previously never been finished in a pro fight. A previous comment from Dolgarian resurfaces through this craziness. The featherweight previously told MMA Junkie that fighters should get a percentage cut of the betting handle in every fight. He said, if you're betting on me, I want some of it. And given the laughable performance on Saturday, coupled with a massive shift in the odds right before the fight, it may appear that Dolgarian took action on those words. The last fixed fight scandal for the promotion involved coach James Krause and fighter Derek Minor in 2022. Both got cut and have been under FBI investigation. Interestingly, Dolgarian was among the fighters who trained under Krause in 2022. Not a great look. All of this, of course, comes a week or so after the NBA was rocked by investigations and major arrests. Caesars Sportsbook offered cash refunds to anyone who wagered on Dolgarian. DraftKings is investigating the matter as well. The UFC was initially alerted by its sports betting watchdog IC360, causing them to alert the FBI. President Dana White met with the FBI twice on Tuesday. Dolgarian didn't exactly make a case for performance of the night honors, but there actually wasn't a single standout winner at the Apex. Instead, 4 fighters each took home $50,000 bonuses for their efforts. One of them was Dominican heavyweight Waldo Cortez Acosta, who segues us into the second strange occurrence of Saturday night. He squared off against Croatian Ante Delia, who had Acosta up against the fence late round 1 as he started to throw major bombs. Acosta sustained an eye poke from Delia in this flurry with 1:40 left in the round, causing him to turn and shield and begin eating big shots. Referee Mark Smith stepped in, stopped it. This sent Delia into celebration, thinking he just won by TKO. His corner was going wild, everybody spilling into the octagon. But since the referee did not wave his hands over his head to stop the fight, they went to review, confirmed the eye poke. Waldo Cortez Acosta said, I want to continue the fight. It was resumed, and he knocked out Delia within 20 seconds. Talk about a bad beat for bettors there. This card received hearty jeers from fans, but still managed to produce a couple headlines, not all for the right reasons, though, that's for sure. Here's what's left for 2025. Another watered-down fight night tomorrow, but then UFC 322 next Saturday from Madison Square Garden. JDM Makhachev for welterweight gold, and a stacked card all around. On the 22nd, Arman Tsarukyan, who has not fought in nearly 2 years, returns from injury to scrap with Dan Hooker. Finally, December is a home at 323, where Merab puts his belt on the line again to become the first fighter to have 4 title fights in a single year. The co-main, fan favorite high-volume striker Joshua Van challenges one of the greatest flyweights ever, Pantoja, who is in search of title defense number 5 of his career. And then on the 13th flyweight, Brandon Royval, who strapped with Van in the summer, still stands as one of the best fights of this year, takes on Manuel Kopp to headline a fight night. That's all from the world of pro sports. Quick break and a little Run It Back sand volleyball and NFL roundtable when we come back.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
It's that time. Jimmy, Emil, and Caden are here for their roundtable talk today. And then to finish it out, our crew is back to test out our athletic abilities as we played a match of sand volleyball. We'll see who might be signing with the volleyball team next year and who needs to stick to sports reporting soon. First, let's head to our roundtable.
Thanks, Jameson. As Emil discussed earlier, the NFL trade deadline was on Tuesday, and while not as hectic as years past, a couple of teams made some big moves in hopes of reaching that shiny Lombardi trophy. I'm Caden, joined by Emil and Jimmy, giving our takes on the winners and losers of the deals made at the deadline. Starting with the winners, Jimmy, what do you see as the best moves made on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Jets. I know they moved off some of their best players, but they got 3 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, so it's kind of hard to see how they're not winners in this.
Yeah, I like to clown on Jerry Jones, but he had a great trade deadline. He got Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons, and then he used the picks that he got from that to get Quinnen Williams and another first-round pick, and then they were able to use that money to sign Deron Bland and other key pieces. They gotta be my winner for the trade deadline.
I couldn't agree less with you, honestly. I think Deron Bland is overrated, just like the rest of the Cowboys defense. I'm gonna go with the Saints and the Seahawks, both of them in their trade. I think a 4th and a 6th to get Rashid Shaheed as a receiver is great. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's young, he can grow. Sam Darnold's been on fire this season, so I think that's going to be great. And then obviously the Saints, they're nowhere close to competing right now, and so it makes sense to just try to offload some talent and get some picks. And with all the big swings some teams take, some just don't land. Jimmy, who are your biggest losers at the deadline?
I know they both traded for one another, but give me the Colts. I mean, trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, I think he's a really good corner, but 2 first-round picks, mortgaging your future and while you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback after that game he had with the Steelers, I don't know.
Yeah, as a Bears fan, I got to say it's the Bears. They've been struggling heavily on defense, not getting a lot of pressures. I know Montez Sweat has been pretty good recently, but our cornerbacks keep getting fried. As I said before, they put on their best Eli Apple impression every week. They only traded a 6th for Joe Tyron Shoyinka, who hasn't really done much this season, but he was pretty good in Tampa Bay. I have to assume that they feel confident in Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson when they come back. And I'm happy that they didn't swing on Jermaine Johnson taking a 2nd. Knowing Ryan Poles, those second-round trades, he always gets fleeced.
Yeah, I don't think our producer's going to like this, but I think the Jags made a really kind of boneheaded move here, honestly. I don't really see the reason for getting Jacoby Myers here, honestly, because they have Brian Thomas Jr., they have Travis Hunter they just drafted in the first round. I know they're both banged up, but is this team really going to compete this year? I don't really see it. They're going to lose in the divisional round at best. It just doesn't really make sense to me. It's a lot of picks to give up that you could have, get somebody young for
to be fair, they do have players injured like De'Ami Brown, and we don't know how hurt Brian Thomas might be. So
it's just kind of mortgaging a future for a season that I don't really think that's going to pan out all that well. They don't play in a good division. I mean, they're playing the Texans and the Colts and the other teams in there. I just don't see that working out for them. But anyway, that's all the time we have for hot takes. Coming up next, Run It Back took to the sand for some volleyball last night, and we have some inside look at it for you.
What's up, guys? Today we're back with the Run It Back crew playing sand volleyball.
Let's get into it. Hey! Me! Hey! Yeah, that doesn't count. Our point. Hey! That's where I just want. Oh! Lift! Oh! Out! Okay. Jimmy, go get it. because my team failed me, but I feel a comeback coming soon.
Don't let Ben dance ever, actually. That is not where you serve from. Set me.
Oh, I'm
you
not
got
very
it, you
good
got
at serving, so.
Yes!
Advance.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. In.
Anyone know the score?
I got it.
Look at my team go.
Hey, that was good. Good way to be there.
Good job, guys.
It's the thought that counts.
That's what it is.
I got it.
Those happen to fall.
Right here.
All the time.
Oh, send it. You hit the net.
You got them.
In. You got it, Emil.
What are we at?
Nice. Send that.
Yes.
Watch out.
Yes,
I know you got it. Hit it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Oh my God! Target Jimmy. Oh my God! I thought that was going out. My bad.
Jimmy.
I'll get it next time, maybe.
This is where the comeback starts. You watch this. That's one.
Daisy.
Don't let us get hot.
Gosh.
Yup.
Gosh darn it.
Yup. 12-6. 12-6. Comeback season. Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Are hungry. That's game.
That's all we've got for Run It Back Mic'd Up, but stay tuned for more because we'll have more next semester.
Hopefully you enjoyed watching us play. Now let's head back to myself in the studio. Well, thanks, me. I'm definitely sure my team should have won, but maybe I'm just a sore loser. I'll be sticking to hosting after those losses. That's going to conclude this week's episode. Keep tuning in weekly for all your KU and pro sports updates. We're live at 10 a.m. Friday and 2:30 Mondays, and Playmakers follows us right after today. If you ever miss us, rewind and rewatch on Media Crossroads. While we are stuck in Lawrence as KU heads to Arizona tomorrow, make sure to tune into the game and cheer on the Hawks. And later next week, hopefully we'll see everyone in Allen Fieldhouse for some basketball. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Run It Back.